Okay, yeah, I'm Andrew. I play guitar and sing sometimes.
I'm Dave. I play drums.
And I'm Ollie. I play bass and I also sing sometimes.
Yep.
All right. So, Atlanta. Are you from there? Did you move there? If you moved there, why did you move there? It's like, what's the music scene like there? Is that why you moved?
No, I've lived in the Atlanta area my whole life. Yeah, I probably have lived in Atlanta the longest. But yeah, this band started in Atlanta. We didn't move there for the music scene or anything of that nature. Music scene's cool. It's definitely eclectic. But yeah.
Have you seen any parallels, I guess, between Atlanta and Austin as far as music?
Not so far, but I don't know if you
Music-wise,
wanna-
no.
There's a lot more here.
Yeah. This is a music town for sure.
Yeah.
Like Austin has single-handedly changed my opinion of Texas. Like this is a cool town for sure.
Yeah, that's most people who are like Texas. Like they get to Austin.
Uh-huh.
You know what? Not so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you did that. What are you hoping to get out of South by? Like,
We're just here for the food and the drinks. Really.
Yeah, that's why we started the band. Honestly, just to like meet up and drink beer and eat. Outside of that, I don't know. I feel like it's not really different than any other time we play, which is just to have a good time and meet cool people. I mean, but yeah, we did an official showcase last night. It was awesome. Like it was an intimate setting, you know, so it felt pretty packed out and got to meet new people. And that's really just where it ends or begins and ends with us, you know. So yeah.
so speaking of shows, do you have any like tour rituals that you have or that you know something that like you have to eat before? Like I'm a big hockey fan. Hockey players are like notoriously like insanely superstitious. So
Sure.
Is there anything like that you guys have that you're like I need to drink this one certain beer before a performance or anything, or do you just kind of wait?
I think Dave's probably the most ritualistic, so I'll let you comment.
I just got to make sure that I stretch my old arthritis hands, and I don't cramp up all my muscles before we play. I think really the only rituals in the band are just drink any sort of alcohol before
Yeah. Except for
going
you.
on stage. Except for
Except
me,
for
I'm
Dave.
the sober one. But
Yeah.
besides that, that's the only ritual. Have a good time.
I think Jameson used to be the ritual,
Yeah.
but
True.
we don't really get along with.
We had to break up with Jameson
anymore. Yeah.
as a band. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I always see you with a practice pad.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of haphazard. Usually, like maybe 10 minutes before we go on, we decide what we're playing.
Yeah.
Now that was not the case for South by, but yeah, not a lot of thought goes into playing.
So like you don't have like a set list or anything?
It changes all the time. Honestly, we usually write this at like day of at the earliest, and usually 5 minutes before.
I will say our first 3 songs are usually the same boom, boom, boom. And then everything else after that is...
We have the staples. It's like
Yeah.
we're clearly going to open with these 3 or 4. Anyway, I don't know if this is answering your question. But,
So speaking on that note, then what is your favorite song to play live?
go first.
It's a good question. It changes all the time. I mean, we get worn out of we get sick of our songs and new ones take over that place. I think for right now, probably Munchausen by Praxis is a lot of fun to play. It's short and it's we can kind of move around a little bit more on that one.
In the end, we're nothing more than an arsonist wet dream. We're born with vow, devote to screams and shouts.
Cassie Infinita.
I'm with Dave. 2 against 1. Ollie's answer's wrong. Me and Dave say Cassie. That one's been a lot of fun.
That I'm finally seeing now all the things you saw yourself. Yeah, I'm finally seeing now all the things you saw yourself. All the things you saw yourself.
So do you prefer playing live or in studio?
I never want to be in the studio.
Yeah, live is definitely preferable.
I'm cool either way. I work in a studio, so I'm stuck in there all day.
Oh, okay.
Live is nice because you mess up and nobody realizes because it's over like that. So.
That's fair. So, how did you get together? How long have you been together? And then how did you come up with your name? Because and then
Sure.
Name. It's like an apartment.
Yeah, that. Oh my God, you're the first person ever to just look at it for what it is. Yeah, that's. So it was a place I spent a lot of time in college. Probably overdid it with the partying in this apartment complex, and from what I understand, it's being knocked down. Yeah, so the Carolyn is no more, but we're, I guess, carry the torch. Yeah, so, well, Dave and I have known each other almost 20 years at this point. Yeah, a really long time. So, and we just played music throughout our, teenage years and what have you. And this, the Carolyn originally started as a solo project for me. The first EP was just a couple of pop punk songs I had on the back burner, and we got involved, or I got involved with 59X Records and made the EP, but I needed a band. And so that's when I called Dave. He was like probably the first solidified member that wasn't just myself. And then I forget exactly how we met. We met through mutual friends in the punk scene.
Yeah, we our old bands played shows together a few
Right.
times, and we had a lot of crossover friends in this scene at the time. And I think we both really liked each other's songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in between bands at one point.
Right.
And
I don't even think I can pinpoint when we were like, "Hey, let's bring in Ollie."
I know it had to be like maybe mid 2017.
Yeah.
I think it was before that.
I don't know. The years kind of it's
Yeah.
It's going to get to a
It's a
point where I'd
blur,
stop
yeah.
telling people this was ever a solo project, because the years that we've been together outweigh the ones we haven't. So
So, since you actually brought up, you really like songwriting, what is your writing process like now?
definitely different.
Yeah. I mean, from my end, I usually I'll have an idea. Sometimes it's a whole song, sometimes it's just a verse or a chorus, and I'll record it. And even though I play bass, I usually write with an acoustic guitar, and I just voice memo and I send it to Andrew, and he's either like, "This is awesome," or "This is really bad," or "This has potential, let's work on it." And we kind of go back and forth, and then we meet up in the rehearsal space and hash it all out.
Yeah, I kind of think it's still siloed to a degree. There are going to be some. It's all about what the song calls for. I think like some songs are just either him or myself just wrote it in the bedroom and it's done. This is the groove.
Yeah.
This is how it goes. Just speaking personally, I'm a lot less married to ideas and songs now. I mean, I still get hooked on things. There's some aspects of songs that I'm just like, this has to be this way because this is just what serves the song. But yeah, I don't know. A much more collaborative process than our first LP together.
So, what was your kind of a two-part question? What was your gateway drug to getting into being a musician? And then, what was your gateway drug into, I guess, like the pop punk genre?
They're one and the same.
They're
really,
one
for
and the
me.
same.
I mean, for me, it was. I had an uncle who is a musician, just casually, but he was always in punk bands growing up, and I didn't really get to see a whole lot of that at the time. But he would always tell me to listen to this band, and really, when American Idiot came out, I was maybe 9 or 10 years old, and that really opened up the door for me. It was that's why I'm here right now. I owe it all to that record, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a couple of years older than him, so for me it was Enema of the State, but it's the same story. Like I think in the late 90s, extreme sports and melodic punk were just in kids' faces, as part of pop culture. And yeah, I just remember hearing that CD, stole it from my best friend's older sister, and I was just like, what is this music? And ever since then, I didn't care about anything else but this style of music, and then I just one day learned how to play guitar. So
Well, for you, it was
my
the
whole
get-go,
my
right?
whole family plays drums. My dad plays drums. My older brother plays drums. My mom's dad plays drums. So it was just kind of, here you go, kid. And honestly, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
yeah, honestly,
I
that
started
changed
playing
so
those
many
games.
lives for,
Yeah.
for people our age.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so.
saw a Good Charlotte play on the Boom Boom Huck Jam in like 2002 with Newfound Glory, and I fell in love ever since. So.
That's amazing. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was actually looking through my posts from South by from last year, and I had gone to a panel about like the future of music and gaming, and I had like a top 5 list of like, music and video games, and it was like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Guitar Hero 2, NHL 04 or something.
Even like the Madden games have
Yeah.
great soundtracks.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So, I mean, I guess you kind of answered it, but I had, like, what are some of your influences and inspirations and aspirations? And clearly, you told me how you got, into it, but that doesn't necessarily speak to all of your influences, I guess. So, what are? It doesn't have to be a particular band, but like, just what are some influences that you have, either sound wise or lyric wise, or like what really just affects you as an artist?
Well, I mean, the bands that we mentioned, we probably don't really listen to that much anymore these days. It's Andrew and I both listen to a lot of like the Chicago bands, but also Lawrence Arms, Alkaline Trio. Obviously, that's an easy parallel to draw. But we also listen to a lot of like sad girl indie pop.
Oh yes,
Camp Cope, R.I.P. from Australia.
favorite
is
bands ever.
One of the best bands ever. I listen to the Weaker Thans nonstop, pretty much all the time. So a lot of sad stuff, really. Otherwise, outside of music, I mean,
You read occasionally.
yeah, sometimes.
I read never. Yeah, I don't know. He kind of hit it on the head. Like there's certain bands when you're growing up that are just pivotal for you. Like all the bands you just mentioned, kind of more or less taught us how to write songs, and kind of you just take notes and rip them off until you start sounding somewhat like yourself. And probably don't listen to consistently anyway the music that like just really inspired us as kids as much anymore. But I don't know. It's kind of, for me, if I'm inspired by something, I make no, I don't discriminate. I love Taylor Swift's most recent record. That's like just as much of an influence on my writing as any other band. So yeah, it doesn't take much for me to want to pick up a guitar and just mess around with stuff. I write about like movies more than anything else. If it's not directly influenced by a band or something. I'm really into like pop culture references in our lyrics. So yeah, those are for me. You like baseball?
I like baseball. I like playing drums.
Simple man.
Yeah.
I think another through line for our music is like just the general like malaise of daily life, just being tired and having a lack of motivation for things outside of what we want to do with our time.
Well, and that kind of touches on the aspirations question. It's like, do we even really have those outside of just like our friendship and seeing new places?
Right.
It's weird.
Out.
We're very much a baby band, but I've already done everything I ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
As far as, playing in a band goes.
Have a good time.
Have a good time. Yeah. Like literally it doesn't, this doesn't pay any bills for us. If anything, it puts a stress on our personal our finances, our personal relationships, everything. It's very much an obstacle, but at the same time, for me, it's like the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
So
it's worth it.
You guys are really good at answering questions I'm gonna ask.
Oh, I'm so sorry
really?
if I'm screwing up the flow of this.
I have to keep reminding myself where I am. Something you just said made me think of something, and now I can't remember. So yeah, I was going to ask, what's your favorite genre to listen to that you don't create? You kind of touched on that already. But another thing you said, how if anything it creates stresses on like your friendships and things like that. How have you grown as a band, or as friends, or as people? I guess it's coming together together and pursuing this and seeing where it takes you?
It's like an 8-hour podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I can answer, but I keep answering first if y'all want to say anything.
I mean, no, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I don't know. It's just kind of to the point. I think I'm going to try to, there's so much to unpack. I'm going to try to make this coherent. I probably started this band with like a very specific vision, very specific flavor of punk rock or whatever in mind. And anything that was like outside of those parameters, I was like not having it. I was kind of just forcing what I thought the goals of the band should be on these two for a couple of years. And that it causes stress, right, and tension within the band to just be like, this is the way, and that's a hard, it's hard to be in a band all the time with somebody like that. But I think the more, having worked through those tensions, and the more things we do, the more we write. Like I would not do this band with anybody else. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of obvious. We just we're best friends in the world, and we all but always had the easiest times. There's been some years we were really, really close, and other years we not as much. Obviously, a global pandemic happened that kind of kept us away from each other. But Russia is family to me. So I'm not the same person I was when I was 23 or whatever when I started this band.
Yeah, same here.
Awesome. I guess my last question is just, what's on the docket? What coming? Is there anything you want to plug?
Well, we just put out a single. It's actually a cover of the Cranberries for anyone who likes that band. Yeah, well, it's weird because I feel like a lot of people our age are just like, ugh, whenever you say something about the vocals they don't like. They were one of my favorite bands for the 90s, but yeah, exactly. Thank you. So that's going to be on an upcoming EP we have called Harmful History, out on 59X Records. That'll be June 9th, and a couple weeks after that, we're going back to Europe and playing some festivals over there, doing a little tour again. So that's the main upcoming thing, I think. And figuring out when we're coming back to Texas, I guess.
Anything big happening in any of your personal lives?
Nothing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, same here.
All right. One more question before I let you go.
Of course.
If you could collab with anyone, living dead, pop punk, hip hop, singer-songwriter, African jazz.
It's not musical, but I want Liquid Death to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
I do love their water. Shout out Liquid Death if you're listening.
But musically,
Yeah.
I'm going to say ODB.
Oh.
If we could have him on a verse or something, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Please don't say what I think you're about to say.
I'm not gonna say that one. Honestly, just because I love her so much, Casey Musgraves.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
If I could do anything with Casey Musgraves, I think she's probably my favorite artist right now. So
I want Bad Bunny and Shakira to do a verse,
Yeah.
a harmonized verse on one of our tracks at some point.
Sure.
And then we tour with them through Latin America.
All right. Pretty big.
yeah.
I think that's it. So thank you.
Sweet.
Sweet. Thank you.